Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season X. We're here for round 18 out of 22. It's the Mexican Grand Prix. We should be having about 16 drivers. Obviously, Nathan's just joined, and then we should be having Dello join in a minute. So, yeah, 5 races to go, including this one. Dry qualifying. Haven't heard anyone say anything about the race yet, but I'm going to guess it's dry as well. And the stage is set. We have the Constructors' Championship pretty much wrapped up. It looks like it's going to go to Ferrari, who are about 70, 80, whatever points ahead of Aston and Sauber, who are separated by 2 points, so they're fighting for second. There we go. There's Dello. But as for the drivers, it is a 3-way fight. It is Sam L versus Josh Hewitt versus Drifting, with 5 races to go. 3 of them separated by 18 points. I will obviously update you all that Enric has been promoted to Tier 1. He was obviously deemed too quick for this tier, but he decided to go up on his own terms. It was his choice whether he wanted to do the rest of this season or try Tier 1, and he wanted to do Tier 1. So I guess that's a win-win. Let's the 3 drivers fighting for the championship give it their all, fight for the wins, and qualifying, no offence to Enric, is going to be a lot more interesting now, as Drifting on the Inters will do his lap. Josh Hewitt, obviously always on his mediums, is currently on his lap with a 28.3 in the first sector, and Sam, also on the mediums, after missing the last 2 races, is finally back in the Ferrari. He said last week he needed a miracle for that 18-point gap to Josh not to extend, and Josh Hewitt obviously didn't have the greatest of races, retiring from the race after jumping the start along with Chubster and Frosty Life, because I believe it was Frosty who went first and Chubster and Josh reacted to it. So already then their race was a bit downhill. But he's back here at Mexico City, still leading the World Championship, 9 points ahead of Drifting, 9 points ahead of Sam. And with 4th place Eggy, unfortunately not racing today, very rare we see that, it pretty much solidifies that one of these 3, by the end of round 22, is going to become world champion. But which one is the big key, and these next 5 weeks are all going to shape that up. I guess for Sam and Drifting's sake, they got to try and stick with this battle, because right now Josh Hewitt obviously has the advantage of leading the championship. And he is leading the session at the moment with a 15.2 on the mediums. We'll see what Sam can do around the final corner. Getting a little bit of slipstream from his championship rival, actually. And we'll cross the line to still put it behind Josh. A 10.5 between them, though. And obviously we'll see Drifting at the end of the session probably put in a lap that's good enough for the top 5. He's been doing that a lot this season. But Chubster now delivers some pace on the softs into the 1 minute 14s. We've got Simon reserving in the Williams, both Astons, both Haas cars. We've got Birdie as Adam by 300ths now goes on to provisional pole. Once again, showing a good qualifying, some good qualifying form from the Haas there. Haas in general lately have been pretty good. Sombra, after making his debut last time out, and what a debut it was, getting the podium on the last corner of the last lap, fighting away with Yonder, who's also here today in the McLaren once again. And Sombra has been promoted to the Mercedes. And yeah, we have Frosty, who, like I was saying, Haas have been on pretty good form lately, as I think that's his teammate, just giving him a bit of a helpful tow at the end of Sector 1. So, Haas, who scored double points, double top 5. I believe that's invalid, though, for Frosty there. And they're looking strong, considering how low they were in the championship in terms of the constructors. They're closing up on the rest. I believe that's now 8 constructors who have over 100 points this season now. And yeah, Birdie, who has a couple points to his name, 1 point scoring race. We'll be hoping for some more on the board if he can maybe capitalise. Obviously, warnings are the name of the game for today, as that's Nathan sliding. Bluey also his teammate once again. The RB duo, 10th in the standings, but they're giving it their all. So yeah, if there's a late safety car, time pens are really going to decide it all, and most often or not, there usually is. And with 16 drivers, there's definitely a high chance. We've got Dello in the Sauber. Looking to help his teammate. Like I said, 2 points between Sauber and Aston Martin. So as much as Josh and Drifting are fighting one another, it's going to be Warren fighting Dello for those minor points to try and help achieve second in the championship. We've got Ridian, who's closing in on his end of his Tier 2 career, he said Vegas will be his last race, but then maybe even Brazil next week could be. So he's just enjoying himself at the moment and just trying to do his best. And then, like I said, we've got Bluey in the RB. But then, returning after doing the first 10 races of the season, Stelios left the league. And now, 8 weeks later, he's back in the league. Was a full-time Alpine driver, is now a full-time Red Bull driver. So Stelios could also be a name in the hat that could get in the mix there. He's about to start his lap then. So, one of the longest runs down to turn 1. Probably the longest run down to turn 1 on the entire calendar. DRS Open clocking maximum speeds and then a heavy braking zone. Down into turn 1. Easy right-hander. Through the chicane of 2 and 3 now. Bouncing over the curves. Trying to maximise the entry and exits. DRS Open to finish the first sector. We saw Josh Hewitt do a 0.3. So Stelios has done a 0.1 on the soft compound tyres. Diving it left into 4 through the narrow, tight technical complex of 5, 6 and 7. Carrying the speed. No mistakes so far. And then through the sweeping left rights. Go the Red Bull. Darting around the middle sector. Through the final chicane of Sector 2. DRS once again, as battery is also going to be quite important. I'm sure he's used quite a bit. Into the final sector then, the stadium section. Heavy braking into a hairpin-like left-hander. Through the bumps and the kinks. 1 corner to go technically. And then round to the end of the lap. A 14.9 is the time to be. He's done a 14.2. What a lap from Stelios to put some distance between him and the next car. But obviously we are still yet to see the likes of Josh and Sam do a soft run. We know Stelios has had 2 poles to his name this season. And the drivers in the heat at the moment. Probably going to be giving it a bit more than usual. Josh not happy with Warren. Potentially got held up. Or maybe he saw something Warren did. I don't know. But yeah, a note on Sombra, because I remember his start of the race last time out. He was quite aggressive at the start, making some sends and moves. So we could see that this time around again if he does qualify somewhere around where he is right now in 8th. But he's finished in the first sector and he's done a 28.0. That is quicker than what Stelios did in his first sector. So Sombra going for it as well in the Mercedes. His first race in the Mercedes, but that is very close to track limits. He may have had to back off a little bit. That did look like he was off. But it's still valid. So he makes his way towards the end of the middle sector then. Riding on board with the Mercedes driver up by 4 tenths, 55.8 into the final few corners. Bit wide to the right-hander into the stadium section then. Bit of a lock-up. This way you're just trying to hang on to the tyres. Once again, slightly missing the apex. Gone a bit wide. Line of least resistance to the line. 14.7 to put himself on the front row. But that's still quite a gap to Stelios. Adam up by 69 thousandths in the first sector. Chubster up by 100th come the end of the middle. And he's trying to find some more time as well. And he does find a bit of time in the last sector to put himself third. Josh about to begin his lap. Sam has just finished the first sector. And Adam up by a 10th in the middle sector. And that's invalidated, unfortunately. He's gone too deep over that curb. And what could have potentially put him back on the front row. He'll stay 4th for now. Josh Hewitt diving into turn 1. Warren about to start his lap as well. As Yonder went 7th. Sam down by 2 thousandths in the first sector. 4 tenths nearly off. But he has found some time in the middle. He may have made a mistake. And that's invalidated as well as Ridian puts himself 5th. As, yeah, considering Sam's lap time is a medium time, he's surely got a lot more to find. Drifting on the softs this time round. Looks like Delo's saying he's got wheel problems at the moment. Still in the pit lane. Drifting will cross the line then. Let's see what he can do. A 14.2. Time to beat. 14.3. 700ths between him and Stelios. That is a really good time from Drifting to put himself on the front row. And remember, in a way, pole at Mexico is kind of the most useless pole of the season. Because obviously if you start second or third, you're going to get a pretty good slipstream and a run down to turn 1. As Josh Hewitt goes P3. That's what he needs. But still, one of his rivals has outqualified him at the moment with 6.5 minutes to go. But at the moment, Drifting and Josh are still pretty good for the grid-wise. But if you can get a good enough start, blast enough battery, even in first, you could still probably hold on. What about Sam? He's back in the pits then. He's going to have to go again. So one of the 3 championship protagonists has found himself under a bit of pressure here. Frosty, 29.6 in the first sector, about 0.6 off. Birdie invalidated. Both RBs still in the pit lane. Delo sorting his wheel out. And it looks like the top guys will be heading back into the pits to gear up for their last run. Obviously, it's a short lap time around here, so they can do 3 runs with quite a bit to spare. So yeah, we know Josh Hewitt's goals of the championship. He's trying to redeem what happened 3 years ago this month in Tier 2 Season 4 when he fought for the championship when he was racing for Aston with his teammate. And for a lot of the season, it was also a 3-way fight. So Josh knows a thing or two about the position he's in at the moment. And there's no doubt this will surely go down to the wire. And for Josh, he's going to hope to win it. It would be some story. As for Drifting, he's approaching, around 60 Grand Prix now in EXFL Tier 2. Has been a standout name in the last few seasons. And has found a season where he can deliver at the top. Obviously, he won the opening round, led the championship for quite a lot of races in the first early stages. But has never left, really. He's only moved aside in second, third, and fourth, or whatever. As looks like he might be going again with 4.5 minutes, so maybe he was fueled for even more. So the fact he did one run, 700ths off Stelios, and he can still go one more time, depending how the tyres are, you never know. From Drifting, 1 pole to his name so far this season at a wet-soaked Monza, or here in a dry track at Mexico. Let's see what he can do. And obviously wings and setup are going to be quite important. We can see the difference there with battery as well in the first sector, where we see 0.0s and 0.4s. It's a 0.1. Drifting's found nearly a 10th. So is Drifting looking like he's the quickest at the moment, as Adam goes P4 to finish that lap that he messed up before. But what can Stelios do to deliver? Because that's his only time, remember. Drifting versus Stelios for the front row, it seems, for pole. But that is a bit of a slide, and that is unfortunately invalidated for Drifting. I don't actually know if he was going to complete this lap or not, because he has time now to go in the pit lane, put a new set of softs on, and go out when the track is at peak condition. So that's what he's going to do then. Everyone else after Adam in the pit lane, apart from the 3 who were in the pits, Nathan, Bluey, and Delo. So Bluey about to finish his lap with 3 minutes remaining. Oh, Josh was talking about Warren in terms of praise. Again, I'm guessing Warren did his lap on hards, because that's what Josh is saying. Bluey, a couple tenths off Simon. Just off the top 10. Delo, well, clearly I think his wheel's working. Lacking about, half a second? 0.6 in the middle sector to the top guys. So if Delo can maybe just get it into the top 10 here, which he does, P8. Frosty's still without a time, and we've seen him up in qualifying in the top 5 in the last few races. Mexico's another track he's not done too bad at in the past. Whenever I bring up he loves extending a first stint, I always just remember this race a couple seasons back. he must have done like 30 laps nearly on the same set. And then there was a safety car at the end, and it kind of worked out for him. But then there was another safety car, and it didn't. Birdie also without a time. Obviously, I think warnings and whatnot. Track limits are getting to a few of these guys. Josh Hewitt back out on track then for the final runs. Right behind him is Chubster. And his teammate Sam ahead. He knows he has to get this lap in. We've seen a bunch of times this season drifting as Sombra's 5th. Drifting has been quite low, 14th, 8th, whatever. Either because he's done an inter time or a medium time or a pretty bad soft time, as Adam thinks that's it then. 4th at best is all I'm going to do, or maybe you can't get out the pits in time. But Adam will be 4th at best. But yeah, drifting has been in that position. And at the end, he's managed to deliver pretty much every time. As I'm pretty sure that's the session over for Dello as well. He won't be able to get out again. And, well, this time around, drifting's in a good position anyway. But anyway, that scenario has been thrown on Sam L. 3rd in the championship, 18 points trailing, and what is a very crucial lap has now began for the Ferrari, who's plunging down into turn 1 then. Riding on board with the Ferrari, heavy braking. He's got to just make sure to put a good lap in and not invalidate. He's just not going to find himself torn between the two. He's just got to give it everything. Maximum attack. And we'll see what he can do at the first sector split. It's a 28-1. Remember, he did his lap time on mediums. And, yeah, like I said, Dello won't be able to do another lap. This time, Sam avoids any invalidations, as he's halfway done with the lap already. Sam, who's had the most poles of any driver this season with 5. Obviously, Enric also had 5. But Sam, for the first 2 sectors, has done a pretty good job. And 4 tenths up. Now it's down to the stadium section. This time gets it right. Into the left-hander. He's only up by 4 tenths, but he's going to hope that he's got a lot left in this last few corners. And 4 tenths would only put him roughly about 6th. How much more is there to find? Sam L across the line. P4 to put himself with his championship rivals. Yonder goes P6 and then immediately demoted to 7th as Ridian now goes 6th. And here we go then, the final times. Josh Hewitt round the final corner, invalidated. His the person ahead of him, Chubster, P9 at the moment. And now we're seeing what Stelios and Drifting can do. Drifting has had a mega first sector. He's into the 27s. Stelios is up by a 10th. Could we potentially see ourselves into the 13s? Stelios to extend his advantage with a 14.237 to go on provisional pole, as Sombra splits Josh and Sam to go onto the second row. But Drifting is absolutely flying, and he could potentially find himself in the 13s as long as he keeps it valid. Drifting, reborn after the US, has put himself right into the playing field for the World Championship, has come to Mexico City and is going to try and take pole position in Mexico. It's Drifting on pole as Frosty Life manages to get himself into the top 5. Sam gets demoted to 6th then, and I believe that is everyone as Simon crosses the line to be 14th. What a brilliant lap from Drifting to put himself on the front row on pole for the second time this season. Rain or shine, it's Drifting on pole ahead of Stelios. Josh Hewitt 3rd. He probably won't be too annoyed with that, considering he was the one saying pole isn't the best place to start here and whatnot. Sam L, I mean, after missing a couple weeks, he's not completely out of it in 6th. But yeah, what a lap from Drifting. And as you see there, Warren P12 with hard compound tyres. It will be RB sharing the 8th row together. Bluey out-qualified Nathan by 12 thousandths. Wow. Simon managed to get ahead of them both. So Chubster just held on to the top 10. Yonder, Ridian, Adam were tied quite early in the session. Still managed to get 7th. Well, here we go then. This run down to turn 1 is going to be quite a spectacle. But first off, we obviously got the formation lap. And it is a bit overcast, actually. Don't know if this will change, if it will be the same throughout the whole race. But yeah. Last season, we had a wet quali and a dry race. this season, potentially the opposite. And in terms of spectacle, cinematic moments, in terms of incidents between our top three, I believe every combination, Josh and Drifting, Josh and Sam, Sam and Drifting, they have all actually come together at one point this season. Sam and Drifting came together at Spain. Sam and Josh, they hit each other in Bahrain at the last corner a little bit. Went wide, did Sam. And Josh and Drifting, they obviously came together at Belgium when they both connected. And, well, a minor one is Baku, when Drifting moved into turn one and hit Josh a little bit, but obviously that wasn't, like, detrimental. But yeah, formation lap will begin then. Drifting will lead them away ahead of Stelios. And let's see what tyres everyone has chosen. Everyone on the mediums, apart from La Sombra and Frosty in 4th and 5th. They're going to hope to go long into the race. No one opting for the softs. So yep, I think last week everyone managed to keep themselves valid. No one disqualified on the formation lap. However, Simon has left the session. So I don't think he'll unfortunately be able to start the race. He'll be able to get back in his car once the lights have gone out. That will allow both RBs to know they'll gain a place. And yeah, turn one. Big opportunity for some drivers. We have seen in the past 3 wide heading into turn one. Potentially braking very late round the outside can reward you here. But it depends how committed you are and the skill you have. And what can drifting do? Because we also know 3-second time penalties are going to be a big factor. Sombra, we know he's quite aggressive. Making his debut last time out. Made some moves. It was still pretty alright. And obviously got that P3 in the end. He was fighting drifting. He did technically beat drifting. But like I said, penalties dropped him behind. So maybe watch out for him. Sam L knows he's got a lot to do today to close that gap to Josh Hewitt. 18 points covers the top 3. And they're all separated by instances of 9. Josh, 9 ahead of Drifting. Drifting, 9 ahead of Sam. So Sam knows he needs to beat at least Josh today. Drifting could potentially, if they finish like this, take the championship lead. But with 5 races to go... as Ridian's now going to put himself on his grid spot. But with 5 races to go then, this is it. The final stages, the deciding weeks to crown a world champion. And we're gearing up then. It is the Mexico City Grand Prix with the 5 lights going out. And away we go in Mexico with Drifting and Stelios side by side. Josh Hewitt in the slipstream with a pair of them. But Stelios diving to the inside, trying to take the lead away as Sam L trying to get ahead of La Sombra, who's had a poor start. Into turn 1 then, single file for the top 2. Josh Hewitt under pressure from Ridian. What a start from him in P4, but Sam L fighting back now takes 4th away from him, and Ridian side by side with Adam, who's also had a good start. Frosty has had a dreadful start, same with Sombra. Obviously they're both on the hards, but they have lost a lot of ground. Looking back to the front then, Drifting ahead of Stelios, and the top 3 stay as they are. But that was a crucial start for Sam, who's gained a couple places ahead of Adam, who's also gained. And then Ridian, Dello up to 7th. And yeah, Frosty and Sombra dropping towards the end of the top 10. Warren up to 10th. Yondo outside the points. And Chubster, what happened to him? Ages behind at the moment, starting from 10th. Now down to last. So, biggest gainer at the moment is Dello from 11th up to 7th. As they head into the stadium for the first time, Drifting looks in control. But Stelios will need to keep within DRS because it's so crucial here and on the game in general. So we'll keep it at that. So Drifting finishes lap 1 in the lead, still where he started. Then Stelios and Josh. Josh very close with a lot of battery to Stelios. And Sam L knows he's had a good start and can control the pace from 4th. The top 3 in the World Championship in the top 4. And looks like Sam's closing on Josh there. Doesn't quite make the move. And looks like Sombra is fighting away with Frosty Life as Yonder is also wheel to wheel with the Haas. Very close to contact, but Frosty gets back ahead. And Warren, who was 10th this time last lap, is now up to 8th. He's passed both the hard runners. who are just falling ever further backwards. Obviously, they lack the grip compared to everyone else on the mediums. As we have a yellow, and that's Birdie. Coming together with Bluey, I believe. And yeah, Chubbs is going to have to try and hunt these guys down to salvage any points, really. And the closer Sombra and Frosty can stick with the group, the better towards the end of the race. La Sombra all over the back of Warren. As we see the leaders heading into the stadium once again. And this time Stelios is a lot closer to drifting. With only 35% battery, however, drifting, I believe, destroyed that bollard there with 50%. Josh with 80 to use. Sam L getting a bit of a slide out of the last corner, and that's allowed Adam to get nearly alongside him. He's blasting his battery to be fully alongside the Ferrari. But Sam in hot lap, now in overtake, stays in front. But we look back to the front. Is Stelios close for a move? That's a no. But we look further behind to Dello fighting away with Ridian into turn 1. Looks like Dello has got the place ahead of the Williams into P6. So in terms of Aston versus Sauber, all 4 drivers in the points. And that's Warren going off slightly. But yeah, Dello really doing well for the team there. So that's 23 for Sauber and 29 for Aston Martin. Ignoring fastest lap for now. So they're both playing their parts. Frosty just outside of a second of Sombra, who's keeping with Warren. They're all in DRS of the leader. All the way down to 9th. And Frosty and Yonder not a million miles off. Then comes Nathan. He said he made a helmet for whoever won the Premier... or some... I think the Premier League, I don't know. As Ridian and Dello fighting away in the stadium. That's going to allow the top 5 to break away as Warren to the inside. Fighting away with Ridian. Dello still in front of this. And Ridian gets tagged and drops down the order due to the wheel banging. Look how much time they lost. 2.5 seconds. The top 5 are clear. And now we see Josh Hewitt really close to Stelios, who's gaining in the slipstream of drifting. As they're going into turn 1, is Stelios about to take the lead away from drifting to the inside. Drifting still hangs it round the outside. Stelios bounces over the curb slightly. That allows drifting to still hold on to the lead. And there's contact between Sam L and Josh. 2 of the championship protagonists have had a coming off together. And that's dropped Josh to these lot. And it's going to get quite messy as Stelios is now back ahead of drifting. And Josh Hewitt to the inside, fighting away with Warren. These 2 came together last time out as Sombra to the inside. But Josh has the momentum to be in front. And that is already throwing a spanner in Josh's race. They're hitting each other's rears and front wings, all trying to slow down, trying to get on the power. But that is disastrous for Josh Hewitt, losing the train. And was that just Sam maybe couldn't avoid in time? Or maybe, I don't know, just couldn't react quick enough? Or Josh slowing down too much as we're looking once again. Here it's getting all messy. Josh around the outside gets tagged again with Sombra this time. Dello, his teammate watching this unfold, sees Sombra go off the track now. And the championship leader is in turmoil. Down in 6th, fighting away with one of the most aggressive drivers of Warren. His teammate drifting, retaking the lead. With barely any battery, however, Sam L is flying into P2. Backs off, allows Stelios back ahead. Josh Hewitt now up into the lead of this train. Oh my God. To the inside. We said he was aggressive, and Sombra's got his elbows out. He's back ahead of Warren now. So Josh needs to really dispatch this train, but look at the battery he's got. But Sombra's still giving it everything to get ahead, using those hards to his advantage, and his teammate Josh Dello ahead now of Warren. Like I said, Dello and Warren fighting for the lower points places, but every point matters. And if Dello can do a good job, hold the guys behind, not let anyone else attack Josh, he's going to prove to be a good teammate once again. But Josh is struggling as we see Warren have a little look around the outside there. And look at that, Josh has lost DRS to Sombra. 5 laps in, and surely the mediums can't be that bad. As we see the top 4 all close to one another. And if Josh can keep within a second, maybe Sombra could lead him to him. Don't discount Sombra, but even though he's sliding, there seems to be no grip on the track. Birdie gets past the ghosted car of Simon. As we look down into turn 1. Yeah, Simon's not even online, unfortunately. Stelios gaining on drifting to the inside of drifting. Drifting still holds on. As the top 4 stay as they are. Sombra still ahead of Josh Hewitt. Under pressure, Dello with Yonder. Ahead of Warren now. And Ridian trying to catch back up to these guys after his slide. It looks like it's getting sunnier, so the chance of rain is diminishing. As Chubster has found himself past Bluey, who has found himself past the ghosted car of Simon, and has now got Birdie in front of him. Top 4, 2.7 ahead of Sombra. 6 laps in, no one's got a 3-second time penalty yet. And a track like Mexico, considering we're 6th of the way done, that is quite impressive. We see this helicopter cam. Josh Hewitt, he's just lost so much time to Sombra, who's gaining so much time on the pack ahead. I mean, obviously they're in none and whatnot, as the two Saubers have swapped. But Dello goes off there. It looks like they're really struggling as Yonder trying to keep hold of his place ahead of Warren. Ridian and Frosty have caught right up to these guys, and Warren gets the first pen. Josh Hewitt absolutely struggling, the championship leader, for the second week in a row, finding himself dropping down the order. His 9-point lead to Drifting, that's not going to be enough at the moment. As Drifting holding on to the lead once again. And here we see some more swaps. Yonder now ahead of Josh Hewitt. Look at him, he's just struggling so much. I don't know if it's his brake bias or what, but... or the tyres, he's really struggling. That car looks ill at the moment. We know every twist and turn is critical for the World Championship, and when you go through every corner sliding, at any moment it could get from bad to worse, like that. He clearly doesn't have, visible wing damage. Unless he has rear wing damage from that hit with Sam. Look at that. That's surely got to be the only explanation, which means Josh's whole race is kind of in the mud at the moment. Look at it, he's just dropping down the order. And that's got to be, as Ridian once again for the second time in this race, is sideways. But yeah, when Sam hit the back of Josh, maybe he's been given rear wing damage. That's the only explanation. As into the pit lane comes Warren and Josh, as Stelios and Drifting swap, and Drifting might fall under pressure to his nearest rival. Sam versus Drifting. Sam ahead of Drifting now. As Yonder gets past Dello, and it's not a scenario where Josh Hewitt can just give up, because he is still fighting. He's still leading this championship, but if he has got rear wing damage, he's just got to have to live with it. As going off the track there is Ridian. Don't know if he's just had another spin or something. Oh, but there's been a collision between Nathan and Chubster there as well. And Simon, Ghosted, has caught some ground even though he's not there. So out of all this, the top 3 in the championship are opposite now. Sam L is the lead ahead of Drifting. They're both going to gain a lot on Josh Hewitt at the moment. Sam L, 18 points behind Josh Hewitt. At the moment scoring 18 while Josh isn't scoring any. So they would be level on points like they were after Baku. And Drifting with 15 points would take the lead by 6 points. I believe. Yeah, by 6 points, yeah. But P1 is still in Sam's sights. And he's closing in on the Red Bull. You can see the battery they're having to try and save, if anything. And this is proving to be a really strong race so far, as we're a quarter of the way done. What an exciting first 9 laps, as Birdie is past Ridian, who's into the pit lane. And Warren, 1.6 ahead of Josh. I mean, we still probably, I guess, got to think maybe Sam could get a penalty for what he did to Josh. But unless Sam genuinely couldn't avoid it, didn't have enough time, I don't really know if he would get a pen. That's all going to have to be decided later. So at the moment, Drifting's still in a good place. Adam hasn't had a podium yet. His best finish in Tier 2, I believe, is 4th or 5th. I think he was on the net podium a few weeks ago, but then got a penalty post-race. Warren now past Nathan. Josh will hopefully do the same. He's keeping with Warren, not too fondly, as Adam's all over Drifting. The top 4 getting ever closer. And here is Sombra, probably the best driver at the moment in terms of in position to win this race, because he's going to be so quick at the end on those mediums, as we see the mediums on Drifting's car starting to fade, I believe. And with a lack of battery, he's under big pressure as Samuel, after 2 weeks away, is back into the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix now. And drifting still hung on ahead of Adam. Sombra gaining on these lot. The only reason he's not gaining even more is obviously they have DRS to use 3 times on the track. Yonder 4 seconds behind these guys, sliding as he's over a second ahead of Delo's, nearly under a second now ahead of Frosty. He's trying to turn his tyres on as well. Chubster now finds himself in the points. Probably would have been 9th without that incident here with Nathan. So Josh Hewitt also ahead of Nathan. Louis 23 seconds behind, still level 16, 10 laps in, 1 driver with a time penalty. Top 4 still streaking away, but it's about to be the top 5. As that might be a warning for Sombra. But yeah, with the mediums falling off, Sombra's obviously doing what he did last time out. Hard medium. And which one of the top 4 blinks? Which one will pit first? And it looks like it's going to be drifting then. Birdie, now a time pen. Drifting into the pit lane. Make sure not to speed. And we'll put the hard compound tyres on. We'll try and go for an undercut. Here comes Stelios, who saved a lot of battery to fly past Samuel now, who's also got quite a lot of battery himself. These two who have had close calls in the past, Britain. But at the moment, they're leading 1-2 strong. We have a yellow, and is that in the, what, pit lane? Or oh, it's Birdie. And that is a safety car. Oh, at the most unluckiest time for drifting. He's just, well, as Birdie sped as well. Well, I say unlucky time. Yeah, drifting, yeah. That is probably really unlucky for drifting, actually. So Birdie has lost it heading into the pit lane. And has also got a 10-second penalty for speeding. So we have a safety car on lap 11. So the top 3 are fine. This actually does kind of change things for Sombra. I'm guessing he and Frosty Life, they definitely did not want a safety car this early on. So what was looking like a well-built-up win was on the cards for Sombra because he just looked in the best position. Now he's got to have to do so many laps with mediums. Oh, that's changed a lot. And now it really depends where the leaders come out to drifting. He's going to have to push, but he's got Chubster ahead of him, and he's got to keep to a delta. Literally came out as soon as drifting exited the pit lane. I don't actually know if he'll lose too much, as Frosty now gets a time pen under safety car. I don't know if that was because of the pit entry. But yeah, Sombra onto mediums, and the top 3 onto the hard compound tyres. But where do they favour out compared to drifting? He's got to go now. Remember, he was in 3rd, and there's Sombra. There's drifting. So drifting has lost 2 places due to the safety car. He was in 3rd and has lost a place to Adam and Sombra. Sombra's going to be quite quick at the restart, but I don't know, 20-odd laps on those are going to be a bit of a challenge. This actually kind of helps Josh Hewitt a little. Not lose too much ground. And we'll actually get some reactions now, I believe, with the safety car, so that's good. Sam's reporting that Adam hit the back of him into Josh. Interesting. But Josh is saying it's alright, his tyres died. So Josh actually hasn't said he's got rear wing damage. Really? No offence, but really? Okay, never mind then. If Josh doesn't have rear wing damage, that was genuinely a cry for help with how much he was struggling. Wow. Okay, fair enough then. So that's not Josh out of the race then. That's still him in the points He can see the leaders. But yeah, Stelios, who's obviously had 2 wins to his name this season, one in China, and we can see Sombra in the background getting a lot of weaving done. He won in China and he won in Spain, fighting away with Josh. China was a bit more of a changeable conditions gamble. But yeah, Drifting's got some work to do after getting on pole, fighting with the leaders. He's been hit with a bit of an unlucky moment there, pitting, and then a safety car comes out. But it's not all lost. Sam L, however, started 6th, made his way up to 2nd, has been involved in one thing, but apparently is now saying he got hit into Josh. So Adam hit him, but if Josh is saying it's alright, then I guess we move on. At the moment, I'd say the best race so far is just by Stelios. He's just been keeping it at the front, doing the best he can do. And yeah, we have still both Astons and Saubers in the top 10. Everyone's made a pit stop, I believe, yep. Obviously, Sombra and Frosty will have to do a lot of the race on mediums. Wouldn't be surprised if they start to fall off. And as for Chubster, as to why he was so far behind after lap 1, apparently he couldn't move. He was ghosted again, a bit similar to last week, and wouldn't let him go. So that's upset his race. But at least the safety car brings him back into it a little now. Safety car's in this lap as well. And Stelios will gear up to do the restart. Fight away with Sam. Adam making slight contact with Sam there. Hopefully that's all right. And Stelios will come around the final corner, slowly grow in his acceleration, and will get this race back underway. Stelios ahead of Sam. Not exactly the greatest restart, because Sam is right there with him in his slipstream, using the battery as there's swaps between Drifting and Sombra. As we look in the background, we look to the foreground, and it's Sam L versus Stelios into turn 1. Stelios ahead. Sam has to stay behind for now. Drifting got the perfect launch he needed at the restart to gain a place, and Josh Hewitt also gained a place on Warren. So the top 2 in the World Championship making moves. And yeah, that was very impressive from Drifting. And we see Stelios still under pressure from Sam L, bouncing over the curb. Sam putting him under huge amounts of pressure. Adam may even try a go, but at the moment they stay how they are. And we look to the back. Birdie just overtaking an AI there. But yeah, as they were then. Flying through the middle sector. Josh Hewitt maybe has a bit of a recharge after his setbacks earlier in the race, but that's a bit wide. After a little hit from Warren there, who's nearly off the track. Wheel to wheel between the Aston and the Sauber, and the Sauber stays ahead. Further forward, going wide there is Drifting, and that's what I was trying to say. He got the jump on a driver who's on fresh mediums compared to his hards, so yeah, props to Drifting, but he's now going to be under so much pressure from Sombra, who has a lot of battery, but Drifting doesn't care. He's using the rest of his alongside Adam now, and Sam sees this and is going to do a move himself, this time for the lead. There's Drifting as well. Has he got the move on Adam? Well, he's ahead, but Adam's still around the outside of the Aston Martin. Now, Drifting is ahead of the Haas, and Josh Hewitt still in 7th. He sees Yonder and Sombra ahead of him. Chubster 3 second now, and we see Sombra all over the back of Adam. Is he going to go for it to the inside? Lets Adam know he's there, but doesn't go for the move. So at the moment, yeah, good moves being made. But right now, it's all about braking, making sure not to run into the back of someone, or making sure not to brake too early that they run into the back of you. But yeah, Drifting and Sam at the restart, making their moves. Drifting back up to where he was then in 3rd. So as forgot about that safety car disadvantage. But we can see the leaders all slowing down now. They all want their battery. And Drifting is under pressure from Adam. Adam goes slightly off as there's Sombra to attack. When there's an opportunity, we see Josh Hewitt fighting away with Yonder as well. And Adam ahead of Sombra, Yonder ahead of Josh. There's Frosty as well, trying to use his mediums. And now Josh is all over Yonder, who's going to blast his battery. Here comes Drifting as well, with barely any battery left. He's just trying to make as many moves as possible. He's trying to get in the slipstream of Sam L. There's Stelios still wheel to wheel with him. Heading into turn 1 then. Drifting versus Stelios. Drifting ahead of Stelios to the inside. Sombra versus Adam as Bluey's retired. They go wheel to wheel. Great racing at the moment between the top drivers. Adam still there, but Sombra is now ahead into fourth as Josh Hewitt lost a place to Frosty, who's on the charge again. Now to the inside of Yonder. Gives him the space. Now edges him out to the inside. And Yonder under pressure now from Josh and Warren. Ridian with a 3-sec down in 11th. And yeah, couple moves there made by Frosty. Both asses into the top 6. Very aggressive, but I believe fair enough. But yeah, I mean, he's got that 3-sec, so he's got to get his elbows out. But yeah, Sam Allen drifting 1 and 2 at the moment. And once again, they're in none. They're going to slow everyone down. 20 laps to go, however. But yeah, at the moment, second and third in the championship. Closing on first in the championship, who's down in 8th. And it's going to make it even closer. But now, Drifting has saved a lot of battery. He's perfected this restart so far, and it's going to reward him with the lead. We have an incident at the back between Nathan and Birdie, but Drifting is back into the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. And here comes Stelios as well to try and snatch P2 away from Sam. Gives him just enough room, gets up into second now. So Sam has dropped from first to third as Drifting. A remarkable restart, 5th to 1st. Just getting on with it, really, using his battery. And Sombra close to Sam, maybe demoting him even further down the field. Sam leaves him the space, and they're going to go wheel to wheel, making sure not to lose too much time. And it looks like Sombra, with the mediums, is now up into third. Warren has 6 seconds. Yonder's ghosted for some reason. And yeah, Josh knows he needs to still just hang on. He knows there's, well, I don't know if he knows, but there are 3 cars ahead of him with time penalties. So, oh my God, that's a warning and a half. But yeah, Josh can gain at least 3 places here. He's under pressure from his teammate, however, and it looks like he's going to let him go, but he's still to the inside. Birdie with a pen. So Josh now down to 10th, but could still find himself at the moment 7th. Looks like Warren's over a second behind Adam, though. Nathan with a 3-second. They start to emerge one by one, and by the end of the race, whoever doesn't have a 3-sec is going to give themselves a lot of places. Drifting, absolutely flying at the moment. And we see Sombra, the Mercedes, gaining on the Red Bull. He sees a gap to the outside. Tries to go for it, but obviously doesn't find any more space. So decides to try again here. He's got a good exit, but maybe too good of an exit. Runs into the back of Stelios slightly. Switches potentially to the inside. Stelios still going defensive. Sombra to the inside. Stelios breaks later and hangs on to the place. Good defensive drive from the Red Bull. Going wide there is Dello. Finding a way with Warren and Ridian watching this unfold. That's giving Josh some breathing room. Ridian to the inside. What a send from the Williams there to get himself into the points. And you need to wake up pretty early to do that kind of move on Warren of all drivers. We see Nathan and Birdie still at the back. I believe there was another incident a few laps ago. And while Drifting is driving his heart out, as we see Sombra letting Stelios know he's there, unfortunately, because it's just such a short lap, Drifting isn't really going to be able to get outside of DRS here with Stelios unless he fights Sombra too much. But he's got a 9/10 gap, and that should surely be able to make him hold on to the lead here. And he's got good battery too. That has been a bit of a flaw of Drifting this season with his battery management. But today, he's ignoring and improving on all of that. And Stelios is still trying to hold off Sombra before his mediums start to go off the cliff. And, well, Sam is already making his job even more difficult because he's back up into third with another good move to the inside as Birdie has retired in the pit lane after breaking one front wing. He doesn't want to break any more. Nathan, for some reason, pulling over to the right there. Obviously, Birdie's in the pit lane, so maybe if they came together, Nathan telling him off. But yep, we've lost Bluey and Birdie so far as we're just past the halfway stage. So yeah, Birdie did the right thing there. Waited until 50%. So yeah, Drifting just keeping himself going at the moment. Obviously, both Haas cars are in a bit of turmoil at the moment with their pens. Dello is 2 seconds behind these lot as the 2 Haas cars are swapping. Adam now ahead of Frosty. And yeah, with Ridian now ahead of Josh. Josh just doesn't seem to... It seems like Dello's quicker than him at the moment. Is Josh doing something around this track that's making him cook his tyres? I don't know, but it's given him a 3-second time penalty now. And I believe Ridian just got one as well. Looking further forward, Drifting. He's keeping a good gap to Stelios as they enter the last corner every lap. And he's just holding on to the lead. ahead of the Red Bull. And then Sam, as Josh is back ahead of Ridian. And there's contact, and Josh Hewitt with Warren and Ridian. They all managed to stay facing forward. And Ridian sliding as Warren's trying to make his way in between the pair. And Josh Hewitt finding himself in the walls with Ridian there. But he's still ahead, and Warren holding Josh up now. Ahead of him, Dello with a time pen. Warren with three time penalties now. Right, so this rate, Simon will just get disqualified. Adam close to Sombra. Ridian now with a second time penalty. And yeah, the championship leader really struggling. He said he's good at every track remaining on this calendar, especially Abu Dhabi, so there's still 4 chances for him to do some good here. But he's seeing his lead get ever smaller, and Sam Allen drifting no. Today is a crucial day to close up to the lead of the championship, but they're under pressure from Stelios, who's now taking the lead. Nearly 3 wide. There goes Sombra around the outside. Stelios now gets a time penalty, drifting under big pressure from the Red Bull, who gets squeezed out. Wasn't really alongside, but that's allowed Adam to now get ahead of Drifting, who was in the lead momentarily. And a few laps later now is down to 5th, as we see Sombra now to the inside, fighting away with Sam to take the lead. Ahead, as to the inside, Adam and Stelios fighting. Stelios slides, wheel bangs with Drifting, staying facing forward. Sombra now using his mediums to see himself into the lead, but those mediums are really going to fall off soon. And, well, Frosty's also on them. But, yeah, they just need to make sure they avoid warnings. And, yeah, really getting close now. But, yeah, with Stelios getting his 3-sec. It's still looking all right for Drifting and Sam, considering Sombra has what's going to be destined to be bad mediums. So Sam and Drifting are still in a good place. Yonder is a bit of a dark horse in this as well. As you can see, the train moving. There's once, there's twice, there's 3 times now. There's 4 times for Sombra, which, well, I guess isn't allowed. But, yeah, Sam still retakes the lead ahead of the Mercedes. Yonder now with a pen. As soon as I say dark horse and he could potentially get a podium, yeah, he's now got a pen as well. As Drifting is ahead of Stelios, who's used a lot of his battery, but Drifting's done the same. We look further ahead. Adam all over the back of Sombra too. And if Sombra's mediums died now, Sam would be in a great position to run away. But they're keeping it pretty clean. It's been excellent racing so far. Josh, this way, he's just trying to hang on to a point as he sees Ridian and Warren behind him. Adam's so close to Sombra here, and he might go for the move on the Mercedes. Thinks better of it. It's allowing Drifting to catch up, save some battery too. Look at that, Stelios has saved 60. As, oh, Adam and Drifting. Adam really struggling at the hairpin there. Drifting all over the back. That was close. We have a yellow. That's Frosty Life. Was that just on his own or had to avoid? I don't know. That's allowed him, allowed Dello to get ahead. And then the top 6 were as they were. And there goes Drifting, flying once again past Adam for about the 3rd time in this race. Sam blasting his to stay in front. They know how crucial P1 is because they can dictate the pace and not get involved in anything. Dello now with a 2nd time penalty. Sombra closing up to Sam. Sombra to the inside of the Ferrari. Sam breaks later though. Warren with a 5th time penalty. So at the moment, 4th all the way down to 10th. All have 3s. Well, as soon as Dello and Warren... I know I said literal squabbling for the lowest points paying position, but this is literally fighting for 10th. This is Josh, should I say, not Dello. Josh fighting Warren for 10th. And, yeah, if you told me after lap 1 Chubster would be beating Josh Hewitt, as there's a change of leadership between Sombra and Sam, yeah, bit unbelievable. But Sombra parking the bus after, I believe, going a bit deep there. And you can't miss a single second here. As the top 6 all squabbling. That's going to allow Dello to close in soon. And we go again. This time Sam has the DRS. And watch Drifting. He's got barely any battery himself, but he's going to be quick enough to get past Sombra. Will Adam also try and get the Mercedes? Yes, he will. So to the inside, Adam versus Sombra. And Adam now up into third. Our Sombra's mediums starting to fall off a little now. He's had them on for about 13 laps. And considering the safety car came out on lap 11, those mediums are not going to be in a great position. Frosty's dropped down to 11th because he's pitted again. So that surely means Sombra. Well, he's got two choices. Pit again and maybe gain some ground. Don't really know how. Well, all depends and whatnot. I guess he's just hoping for another safety car because then he would be in a good place. Stelios with another time penalty. Just only a few laps after he got his other 3-sec. So that pretty much writes him out. And it still looks like it's Drifting versus Sam for this win. But to the inside, Adam not playing around with the none games with battery. And Sam and Drifting know 7 points between first and second. 7 points is going to do so much for them. I don't know in terms of whoever wins this will lead the championship per se. But considering Sam is 9 behind Drifting, he would need Drifting to be third to lead it. So Drifting close to Adam. Once again, just not saving any battery. To be fair, Adam doesn't have that much more anyway. Stelios fighting away with Sombra. Sam doesn't really have much either as well. The Mercedes versus the Red Bull. And Stelios is ahead of the Mercedes. And we've seen Yonder sit behind at the back of trains sometimes. Not really got his elbows out. Maybe he'll try today. He did really get his elbows out last week. Fighting away with Sombra for third. Now they are next to each other in 5th and 6th. And as much as I said Della was gaining, nah, he's lost a whole second to them now. And Josh has dropped outside of a second. He knows he can beat Warren because Warren's got penalties that are going to land him back in Texas at this rate. Chubbs has got 6, but obviously Josh isn't within 3 of the Ferrari. So at the moment, Josh is looking for 2 points. As the two leaders are side by side, Drifting now ahead of Sam. And they have to make sure they don't get 3-second time penalties as Warren gets his 6th. But Delo's doing a good job for Sauber. But unfortunately for them, Aston is in a winning position at the moment. But it looks like Sam is going to retake the lead. He's got the battery. He's got the DRS. And Drifting hasn't really got much at this point. And here comes Adam as well. Is he also going to try and get Drifting? He spies a gap to the left. Drifting leaves in the space. They go wheel to wheel. Adam round the outside ahead of Drifting as Warren has retired in the pit lane. That's fair enough. It looked like with all those pens he wasn't going to score anyway. So he'll try and go again next time out in Brazil. And then there were 14, technically 13. So that does put Josh back up into 9th. Frosty Life, remember, he pitted. Could he catch Josh by the end? He's taken a lot of time out of him. But right now, the race is with the top 6 train. 6 different constructors. And, well, half of them have pens. So at the moment, the podium's going to... Oh, that's just Warren. The podium will be Sam and Drifting and maybe even Sombra. If he can hang on for 25-odd laps on on really worn mediums, that would be an incredible feat. As Adam, once again, proving at that corner, he doesn't want to mess around. So he's retaken the lead, but he's probably going to lose it by turn 1. And right now, Sam and Drifting... Oh, Stelios loses it. I don't even know if he got tagged there. But Stelios has spun to make the 6-car train a 5-car train. And here comes Drifting to potentially make it 3 wide. But, oh, Adam's slowing down there. Just letting them go. Drifting, letting Sam know he's there as well. And depending where all these guys are, the heat must be getting to them. It must be so hot and so warm. But they're still giving it their all. And yeah, as much as Sombra got P3 on debut last week due to pace and fighting, this is a bit of a different story. He's trying to go 25 laps on mediums. And he's sticking with the train and he's not got any penalties. He's doing an incredible job at the moment. But Drifting and Sam know this is their moment to really gain to the top. But this is Adam's corner at this rate. He makes a move every lap. To the inside, Sombra letting Drifting know he's there again. And they're just getting ever closer. Sombra spies a gap. As Drifting struggling a little bit, but look how much battery he's saving. That's probably why. But you can see Sam has 100% nearly. But Adam with the DRS, surely that can challenge it. But yeah, Adam stopped blasting his battery. And look at that. Sam has blasted. Oh my god, he's gone from 96 to 13 in one straight. That is ridiculous as Drifting has managed to get past Adam. So many overtakes. And now we see Sombra close to Adam. Yonder just keeping out of trouble. Is Adam going to send it to the inside? No, he's going to think better of it. Dello, Chubster, T2SX. Josh is 11 seconds off these guys, unfortunately, so that would be a no. It looks like Josh is going to get 1 point. Frosty is gaining so much time on Josh. So Josh will get 1 point in this race. He led by 9 ahead of Drifting and led by 18 ahead of Sam, who are 1 and 2. Somehow Josh will drop to 3rd in the championship. Here we go again. Oh, there's a bit of strange contact this time with Adam. Luckily nothing happened, but yeah. Something's going to happen at this rate. Hopefully it doesn't, but it looks like something's going to happen. Frosty gets he gets a pen, to be fair. So he's going to need to get Josh and gap him with 3 seconds when there's 8 laps to go. So here we go then. Sam versus Drifting. They've both got level battery, but Drifting has the DRS. And Adam staying behind for now. And, Sombra going so deep there. I don't even know if he sent it to the outside or just went round the outside, but he's dropped to 5th. Those mediums, wow, they are falling off massively. And he might even fall out of the train. What was a 10-car train? 8, 7, 6, 5 at the moment. Might become a 4 soon. And as much as, Yonder and Sombra fought for the podium, Sombra just has to stay within 3 of these guys, but there are still quite a few laps left. And Adam, that 3 is also... Oh my god, I was going to say he could get 3 ahead of Sombra and be on for his first podium, but now he's got 6 seconds of pens. Oh my god. So Yonder now looking in a pretty good position as they have got Sombra by a second. But we're talking fine margins here, and the DRS detection point is there. So Sombra should hopefully still have it for his sake, but he's in the pit lane. So it's not going to be a podium for Sombra now. With 6 to go, he's going to put the softs on, and he's going to be rapid at the end. Fastest lap at the moment, 16.8 by Yonder. Looking to turn 1, Sam fighting away with Drifting. Slight bit of contact, but all good. No love lost. Stelios fighting away with Chubster there, so he managed to gain some time back, and he could still maybe finish 5th here. Ridian, 10 seconds for speeding. It's not been the race he was wanting at Mexico. That's given Josh quite a lot of breathing room, and look how close the top four all are. 2 with pens. Drifting and Sam know they don't need to do anything too ridiculous here. They know they're going to be 1 and 2, but the big question is in what order, because if Drifting wins, he leads the World Championship. If Sam wins, I believe Drifting still is ahead of him by a couple points, but Drifting to the inside of Sam, he's not messing around now. I think he needed to make that move. We have a yellow, however, and that is Chubster into the wall. But there's no safety car. It looks like Chubster just lost the car, and a bit of his wing too. That's going to allow Frosty to gain even more places. I don't think I even expected Frosty to keep 7th after making an extra pit stop. Drifting with no battery. Sam flying past. What about Adam? Is he close enough? Not really. But Yonder needs to, for Yonder's sake, he doesn't really need to do anything either. He probably knows at best he can get 3rd, but I haven't checked the warnings of these two, and I'm going to keep it like that. It's going to be a surprise if so. Going off there, Nathan and Ridian. So it looks confirmed that Josh will at least be 10th. We have a safety car because Ridian is... I don't know if he's just crashed on purpose there, but oh my god. And oh, and I was just about to say, Sombra's not got a pen. He could get third, but now he's got a drive-through. So they're all going to pit for softs then at the end. They've all managed to not speed. Who does this help? Well, actually, you know what? This actually really does... Oh, Josh just pitted for softs as well, I believe. Unless he's... Because of this... I don't know. Okay, so Josh has just pitted for softs anyway. But with this many people having 6-second penalties, plus Sombra with a drive-through, this has actually just helped Josh Hewitt massively. Massively. That's 5 cars ahead of him that he could potentially beat. Josh Hewitt could finish 4th at this rate still. Yeah, he would lose some points to Sam and Drifting, but not that much. This gives him an extra, like, 10 points at the moment. And Sam and Drifting are going to sprint to the end, fighting, knowing they are going to win this. And Simon's ghosted car is going to join them on the podium at this rate. Sombra knows he can't serve a drive-through under safety car. Well, if he didn't, he knows it now. Yeah, Simon's genuinely going to... At this rate, his AI is genuinely going to score points. Lost the rear in the S's, then lost win and ran way too deep. It's just started raining massively as well. Not considering it's been really warm all day. I don't know what's happening. As they're gearing up for the safety car restart, I think, I don't really know if we're going to have 2 or 3 laps of racing here. Anyway, we're back. And what's going to greet us on our screen? Racing. Sam versus Drifting then at the restart. 3 laps to go. Hopefully this game doesn't be a piece of shit. Drifting versus Sam then. 2 and a bit laps to go and Drifting is ahead of Sam at the end of Sector 1 to the inside. We'll look at penalties then. Right. Please don't be a nuisance. Right. At this rate, Simon's going to join them on the podium because of everyone with pens. Sombra still has to serve his drive-through, fighting away with Chubster. Josh Hewitt in P8 knows he's got a lot of cars ahead of him with a lot of penalties, including his teammate with 9 seconds of pens. Drifting and Sam know they are fighting for this victory. And DRS will be available on the next lap. Adam, does he decide to get in this fight? Or is he going to let them fight this out? Sam and Drifting, no. A big 7 points is on offer here, depending who finishes where in first and second. And this, we could look back at this race in 4 weeks' time and be thinking this was the moment that swung it. 7-point change. Who's it going to? As Sam is keeping behind Drifting at the moment. Not with a lot of battery, to be fair, but Drifting's got even less. Sam knows if he wants to win this, the best typical case, be behind this time next lap and get him into turn 1. And I think that's going to be what he's going to try and do. 8 tenths to Adam, so he's a bit free at the moment to save some battery. 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh Hewitt, no. Oh, as soon as I say, Josh Hewitt has just thrown away a potential 4 placers, a potential, what, 8 points? Because he's got a second time penalty. He could have finished 4th now. It's, at best, he's going to be, what, 7th maybe, because Delo's still got more than him. But, yep, that is... big drama at Mexico City, and we are running out of time. Sam knows he just has to try and get Drifting into turn 1, stay behind, save the battery. Sombra with a time pen, he's served his drive through. So unfortunate from his race. It was looking really strong. And Drifting, he's played and he's done everything right today, but it looks like track position is crucial. But can he stay ahead of Sam? we head on to the last lap then. What has been a detrimental race in the championship fight. And it's Drifting versus Sam on the last lap. Sam with the DRS. He's gaining in the slipstream of the Aston Martin. Which way will Sam go? To the inside. Drifting can't do anything to defend. Sam L into the lead on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Ahead of Drifting. Can Drifting do anything to fight back? Sam knows he's got another serving of DRS with the little battery he's got left. But Drifting is still there in his slipstream, but Sam is pulling away. And Drifting knows there's really only one chance left if he's close enough with the final DRS line. Adam, unfortunately with the 6 seconds, looks like the podium will go to Yonder, who missed out on the podium fight last week with Sombra. This time round, looks like third will be his. And I generally am interested to know where Simon will end up, but he's actually fallen off the pack quite a lot, that AI of his. But it looks like Sam, who's done everything right it seems now, started 6th, has been in so many fights, and is surviving from Drifting's attack into the stadium section for the final time. Looks like Chubster's causing yellows. The fireworks are going off, and it's going to be for Sam L. After not racing for 2 weeks, 18 points behind, he trailed heading into this race. This time, it's the winner of the Mexican Grand Prix, and it's Sam who wins ahead of Drifting P2, and with the fastest lap on the final lap as well. What a comeback from Sam. And Yonder will take the podium. Adam 4th, Stelios 5th, Frosty 6th. Josh finishes 7th in the end then. And, well, Sam was 18 points behind Josh. 25 to his name. Josh gets 6. So Sam gains 19 points, meaning Sam is ahead of Josh by 1 point. But with Drifting finishing 2nd, Drifting now leads the World Championship by 3. Oh my God. The top 3 are covered by 3 points. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, a bit of technical difficulties towards the end of that race. Means I'm going to have to stitch both streams together probably. But Sam L, what a deserving win. It was going to go 50-50 either way to Drifting and Sam. And yeah, Drifting tried all he could. But he's still now got the lead of the championship. And yeah, Yonder will be happy with 3rd. That closes him up to Chubster and Eggy. Pulls him away from Ridian too. That safety car at the end didn't actually change much per se. I'm sure Frosty won't be too annoyed with 6th, considering he had to pit again. Josh Hewitt tried all he could. I mean, look at the fastest laps. He's in the 17s, everyone else in the 16s, whatnot. It just genuinely looked like he struggled today. I mean, I won't see now because it's going too quickly, but I will ask Sam and Drifting how many warnings they were on at the end. They both drove tremendously, but only one can win. Apparently Josh is going to get a 5 set, pushed Warren off. Oh. Right, I can interview all the top 3 today. Hope you all enjoyed that race. Yeah, it was actually quite, very clean actually, but yeah, so many overtakes, and I think the top 2 deserved the top 2. It was a flip of a coin between who was going to win. But for Sam's sake, in the order of the top 3, they finished in the opposite, so the championship closes, which I guess for every neutral or just everyone watching in general, that's great to see. Right, Drifting, Yonder, and Sam. Alright, let's get the top 3 in the party. Right, joining first is Drifting.
My thing again.
Showroom. Oh. Okay, I'll look at that later.
Hello, Jaden.
Hello, mate. Right, we have the top two joining the party. Still waiting on Yonder at the moment. But right, Sam, have you included your audio?
Oh, I'm
Yes, I
gonna I'm
have.
gonna uninclude my audio for this.
Yeah, I will look at that, and I'm pretty sure he did. But yeah, anyway, drifting. Have you included your audio?
I've re-included, yeah.
Hello. Right. There's Yonder. Okay, I'll just wait for him to speak. Ethan, hello.
Wait, can you
You there, Yonder? We'll just give him a minute. We'll
Yon.
come back to. I'll interview you in the order you finished anyway. So Sam, hello. After missing 2 weeks of Singapore and Texas,
Mm.
you have bounced back. P6 in qualifying. You obviously needed a lap at the end after obviously your medium time was your best. A great start put you up to fourth, and then you made your way towards the top of the field, fighting with drifting. It seemed like every lap there was a change for the lead. Um, and what a race from you. It was literally a flip of a coin of who was going to win, who was second, I guess, heading on to the last lap, etc. But yeah, how was the race from your point?
Um, Tiring. That's one thing I've got to say. It's yeah. Obviously, qualifying was tough. I didn't expect to be so slow in qualifying. Um, yeah, P6 wasn't great, but obviously, the start for that was pretty decent, and then yeah, right at the end, I was lucky. Really lucky for that safety car, the first safety car when drifting pit, and then the safety car came out. So I was lucky for that. Um,
Yeah. I also just wanted to ask. You said Adam hit you into Josh at turn
yes.
two.
So
Yeah.
yeah, at 10-2, just I was just a passenger
You
at that point.
were you just trying to avoid Josh and then obviously Adam?
I was just at a normal distance to Josh. I wasn't trying to avoid
Oh
him. I
right.
was just there, and then Adam hit the back of me, and I hit the back of
I
Josh.
see. Okay, that's fair. It, I mean, for both you and drifting, it seemed like Adam heading into the corner before the stadium just didn't want to mess around. He just sent it every corner,
Yeah,
trying to get
Mm,
past.
very
yeah.
Uh,
annoying.
very fun to see every lap.
To
But
be
yeah,
fair,
for you lot, it must have been quite a
I
bit of a
will,
wind up. Yeah, well done, Sam. An amazing win from
can
you.
I just
Uh,
put something in?
yeah.
I felt like Adam on the last lap, to be fair, but I didn't have enough battery.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understood from both of you what you were trying to do. Obviously, it looked like you had quite a lot of battery saved, but the DRS just obviously really helped Sam. But like I said, it was both of you deserved the top two that race. No one else was really going to get it anyway. At one point, I thought Simon's ghosted AI was going to join you on the podium because he was the only car who didn't have a pen. Um, I do have to ask that. That's it. How many warnings did you get, Sam, that race?
We both got one.
One.
Yeah.
Drifting? How many did you get?
Yeah, one.
One. Ah, yeah. So that clearly shows you two are the best drivers today. And very clean battles between the pair of you. Drifting, that restart, by the way, even though you got very disadvantaged by pitting and then there was a safety car, to be fifth at the restart and be first, just
Yeah.
blasting everything, be first after a few laps, that was brilliant to see. And yeah, I'll move on to you. Right, so an amazing qualifying lap from you as well, your second pole of the season, now in both the dry and the wet. You held on to the lead into turn one, so
Amazingly.
good stuff there. And you tried to control the pace. Obviously, DRS is very powerful. You had some fights with Stelios and Adam and Sam and maybe someone else, but and Sombra. But yeah, from your POV, how was that race for you?
Um, from lap one to like lap 30 was like, yeah, sound, I'm gonna get P2, like nothing special. Then the safety car comes out, and I'm like, okay, could win. Then lap 35, do the thing I do every time there's a track with DRS overpowered, and I'm just very stupidly far ahead. And yeah, you know the rest.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You didn't necessarily actually do anything wrong. It's just how the game is sometimes. And even if it wasn't the game, some other games it just works like that sometimes. you win and you lose. But the silver lining, no matter what happened then, drifting, you are now leading the world championship
Yay.
with 4 races to go. And if everything stays how it is, all 3 of you are separated by 3 points.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
What is it?
God.
Me?
So you are 2 points ahead of Sam, who's 1 point ahead of Josh.
Oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like this.
So you got 18, Josh got 6, you gained 12, you were 9 behind before, so you're 3 ahead of Josh. Sam was 18 behind, 9 behind you, obviously lost 7 to you, so 2 behind. So yeah, you were 2 ahead of Sam, 1 ahead of Josh. 4 to go. I'll just quickly go back to Sam. How are you feeling about Brazil next week? If you can race that.
That's the thing. I may not be able to, but it's the things like the things that's happening on the Thursdays are really annoying me because
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough that it got cancelled today, but
Yeah.
I'll see if I can race in Brazil because
Okay.
I'm just gonna do what my usual thing. I don't know about Brazil. I don't want to jinx myself.
That's fair. All right. But yeah, well done today. Glad to see you back on the top. This is your first win since Britain, maybe?
Last win, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Britain was an overtake on the last lap with your other championship rival. So when it really counts at the end, you're pretty much delivering there. Obviously, you have the most poles still of anyone, so I don't really need to say the qualifying needs to be improved. I'm sure today was just a bit of a one-off. Hopefully, in the last 4 races, you'll still continue to give it your all when you can race, that is. Hopefully, you do not miss any more, because that would be a bit unfair. As for you, Drifting, how are you feeling about Brazil next week?
Brazil, as long as it doesn't rain, I'll be sound.
Fair enough. And Yonder, are you there, mate?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Have you included your audio?
Yes, I have.
All right, cool. Yeah, you got the podium again after just narrowly missing out last week, fighting away with Sombra. You kept your penalties to a minimum with 3 compared to everyone else who had 6 pretty much behind you. Just tried to pick. Was that just how your race pretty much went? You just pretty much picked people off, whether either they made the mistake or you just made an overtake, or how was your race for you?
Well, yeah, it just seems to be a common theme that I can't qualify like high enough.
Where'd you
at the
qualify?
start. Like,
9th, 8th,
10th, yeah, 9th or 10th, or
10th,
something
right?
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, that definitely needs to be improved. Hopefully, going on to the next game, so I can be fighting with these guys in the championship. But it's it's just picking off people one by one. I think before the first safety car came out, I was stuck behind Frosty, Josh, and Dello. It was like having a big scrap. By the time I got past all of them, I was like 5 seconds off, and I thought it's going to be quite a lonely race from there. Luckily, it did come out, the safety car that is, brought me back into it, and then I wasn't quick enough to overtake anyone in the train ahead, and I didn't really want to get involved. So I was kind of being quite reserved, laid back, and just, I mean, Stelios spun it on his own, and then the Sombra I think he went deep at turn 1, took off
Oh
his
yeah, I
wing.
wanted to ask about. So Stelios didn't get hit by anyone. He just
It didn't
went
look
off.
like it from my point of view. I think he
Right,
just
okay.
let up the rears too early.
And then I was confused about Sombra. It looked like he just went straight on at turn 1.
Yeah, he kind of used one of the guys ahead as a break. Well, I'm sure he didn't mean to. It was just an incident, but in the end he lost out.
Yeah.
Lost his
And then
wing, and then he got a drive
He could
through.
have been. He could have actually finished 3rd because he didn't have any time pens, but then he got a drive through
Yeah,
under
so
safety car.
it's kind of
So
unfortunate for him.
and then he pitted. So I don't think he actually. I think when we have the final result, obviously Simon will be disqualified, and I think unfortunately Sombra will finish 11th after.
Yeah.
Because without the safety cars, I'm not gonna lie, I think Sombra would have won because he was right with you guys on the hards before you all pitted, and then he had to do 20 odd laps on mediums, which just wasn't going to be.
And then he
I
boxed.
guess final question for you lot: how were the mediums in the first 11 laps?
Shit.
Yeah,
I
they
like
didn't
them.
look great.
I thought they were great, to be honest. Like
Oh.
I know you're probably collecting data for your race tomorrow, but for me, I know, I saw both Saubers, I saw Warren, I saw a lot of people around me in the first 10 laps really struggling to put any sort of traction down on the tyres.
Yeah.
But for me, I was having no real issues with it. I know Josh said he cooked his tyres.
It did look like
but
that, yeah.
after like lap 7, I think that's really early.
I've never really seen a driver literally slide after every corner that early into a stint.
I wonder if he
Josh
had
Hewitt.
wing damage from the hit.
That's
up
what I was
the-
wondering. I thought he
up
got
the
rear
rear.
wing damage when Adam hit Sam into him, and I was saying that's the only explanation, surely. But then I asked in the chat under the safety car, and Josh said, "Oh, some people said no, he doesn't have rear wing damage." Josh just said his tyres, which still very much confuses me. But anyway,
can I
yeah,
just say,
yeah,
I will say something because the default setup is like, I'm chatting setups here, but it's like 40, 30 something. Like wings, the front wing's much higher than the rear wing, and that's probably what caused everyone to slide around because their rear was stepping out every time. Like, so I combated that by just putting the wings literally the exact same, so I didn't have any oversteer.
Did any of you run inverted wings?
What's
I
that mean?
think for my quali run, I
Where the
think I
rear
went
wing
like
is higher
27,
than the front
28.
wing?
27
Oh, I
front,
always
28
run.
rear.
I always run like that.
Oh, right. Because yeah, the track like this, it does seem like that would help. Rear end stability is a must need anyway for a game like this, and inverted wings just seem to be the way forward, at least towards the end of this game, or at least it has been for the last 4 months. But yeah, anyway, well done to Yonder on P3, well done to Drifting on P2, and Sam on the win. Championship's getting ever closer, and I believe that pretty much means Ferrari have one hand on the constructors as well. They might mathematically be able to win it in Brazil. I'll have to check, but they are quite a long way ahead anyway. Don't know what happened to Chubster at the end, but as for Sam, full 25 points and fastest lap on the last lap.
Yeah.
So everything came right. But well done to Drifting as well, leading the championship after, I mean, you led it for the first however many races anyway, so you're back at the top now. So that's great. And yeah, game on.
Right.